Hey everyone, welcome to the best US Mint news channel on YouTube. I'm Sonofasilverstacker. Today's date is the very first day of September 2025, and in this video we're going to talk about what happens if the United States Mint actually does close the San Francisco Mint. Now, before any of that, if you're new here, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. We're trying to get to a bazillion subs. It's actually a really big number. In fact, it's ginormous. I checked it out on the Google machine. Also, we're always live, never edited, and always unscripted. I never know what I'm not going to say. Now let's bounce over to Money Metals. I can show you those live spot prices. They're going to be closed today in the United States, though, because today's Labor Day, right? All right, so gold's up 21.80 to 34.8275. Silver up 83 cents now to 40.77. Platinum up 18.35 to 14.0235, and palladium up 16.25 to 11.4340. And Dr. Copper over here down 5 cents to 4.53 per pound. But remember, just last week it was at 4.42, like that old, right? So down here you're looking at in stock American Silver Eagle, whose premium is $6.59 for a quantity of 1 through 39. They're going to ask that you pay $47.36. Pick up sticks. Now look at this. This is the sell to them price, $41.14 each, and the silver spot price is $40.77. It's about 35 to 40 cents difference right there. Yeah, isn't that something? So not as high as we typically see at $1.20. And does that mean that they're going to, well, believe that the silver price is going to come down? Could be. You never know. I don't know what the ratio is and how it's weighted. Now let's go over here to the Google machine. I asked the question, what's the all-time high gold price? And well, we reached an all-time highs in April 22nd of this year at approximately $3,500 and a nickel. And what were we at now? Yeah, what's that? $18, $23 away from an all-time high. Yeah, that's just one day away from gold peaking at an all-time high again. But what about the silver price, right? What's the all-time high silver price adjusted for inflation? It says here the all-time high for silver was reached in January of 1980 at a nominal price of $49.45 per troy ounce. When adjusted for inflation to mid-2025 dollars, that peak price is equivalent to approximately $193.87 per troy ounce. What? Now, do you think silver is ever going to get that high? I don't know. There's a lot of people that would love to see that, but I just don't think it's going to happen. And if it does, what do you think the Mint's going to be charging for an American Silver Eagle? Yeah, $250 for an American Silver Eagle? Yeah, I don't think so. And what's that going to do to the collectability of those? And is it going to put the Mint out of business? I mean, that's it's just a large amount of money. It's incredible. Now let's keep on keeping on. I want to show you the sales for the bullion here. You know, they're not selling a whole lot of bullion at the United States Mint. They just aren't. Look at all these empty spots here for the half ounce. Yeah, they're selling some gold coins, but look at that. 4,500 here, 6,000 here, 22,000 there, 13 there, 11 there, 3,000 for July. And what are these numbers going to look like for August now that we're in September? We're going to get these new numbers here probably within a week. And did the United States Mint sell another 300,000? Because if they did, well, they won't even sell 10 million American Silver Eagles for the year 2025. That's quite something. Now, let's keep on keeping on. Let's talk about the San Francisco Mint, right? So I asked the Google machine, U.S. Mint closing San Francisco Mint. Well, no, AI says. The San Francisco Mint is not currently being closed. However, its future is being considered, right? The future's in doubt. As part of a broader cost-cutting initiative led by the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, a federal reform agency, the U.S. Mint is evaluating the facility, which currently produces proof coins. Remember that one. That's important. And, you know, if the San Francisco Mint closes and they stop striking proof coins there, where are they going to switch it over to? Denver? Yeah, I don't think so. West Point, New York? Yeah, it could be, right? Could be. But most likely, I think the production would be taken over by the Philadelphia Mint in Pennsylvania. And it says commemorative issues also. Yeah, where are those commemorative coins? Those half dollars, right? Those are probably going to be struck in Denver, I would think. Now, and commemorative issues to see what is a valuable asset for continued production, right? While no official decision has been made, the potential for closure is a subject of concern for collectors and the numismatic community. Absolutely. Why the San Francisco Mint is under consideration? Cost-cutting initiative, DOGE evaluation, target for sale, San Francisco Mint's role, numismatic production, commemorative coins. Yeah, proof coins and commemorative coins. That's what they do there. Now, what's interesting is somebody actually made a comment that there was a person there working at the San Francisco Mint. And I'm here on the Indeed website under U.S. Mint. And there's a bunch of reviews here about what it's like to work there. And this person here, they were a die finishing specialist escalate out of San Francisco, California. Well, they were canned, it looks like. In one sentence is that they fired me when I did my job right and my wife was giving birth. And it doesn't really give any more, um, description or definition or anything of what had happened, but it looks like they are saying they went on some kind of paternal leave or something like that, and yeah, they weren't welcomed back at their job. Now, let me ask you a question. If you took a month off at your work, would there be somebody doing your job? And would you even have a job when you came back, right? Because, in Europe, they actually take a month-long holiday. And not so much here. I think most people take a 3-day weekend and they're pretty stoked about it. And if you're lucky, you get 2 weeks off, right? So that's kind of amazing. So here it is, die finishing specialist escalate out of San Francisco. And have they hired any more? Well, let's go over here. I mean, they may have. Let's go to USA Jobs here. And it says we're viewing one of 7 jobs. So only 7 positions are being hired at the United States Mint currently. And one of them's a police officer for 130 a year. Wow, that's amazing. Supervise. And could that be the same job? Yeah, it could be the same job. They're in Denver, Colorado, and it's for a supervisor role. So it could be duplicate jobs. One that is open to current federal employees of the agency, and then a bunch of specialty roles here. And then they're also looking for a police officer in Fort Knox, Kentucky. It's a little duplicate, a little redundant here, right? And then here we go, West Point, New York. They have electronic industrial controls mechanic, and there you go. That's it. Nothing out of Denver and nothing out of San Francisco. So does that beg the question a little bit harder? Yeah, they could be closing the San Francisco Mint because, well, there's nothing going on here. Well, actually, they do have Denver, my bad, but they don't have Philadelphia. So are they going to close the Philadelphia according to this? Not so much, but they do have West Point, and they do have Fort Knox, and they do have Denver on there. Yeah, well, it definitely adds more fuel to the fire, I would think, doesn't it? Now, let's keep on keeping on. There's a lot to talk about here. So here we have the all 2025 releases under the production facility of San Francisco, California. And let's say the Mint does close the Mint in California, right? That's gonzo. That's it. That's all there is. So what does that mean for collectors? Does that mean that everything out of San Francisco is going to be a lot more collectible, like these U.S. Marine Corps 250th anniversary proof $50 or the uncirculated $50? Could be, right? But what about this? What about the American Women Quarters, those San Francisco business strikes? Are those going to be worth more? Well, how about the proof sets right there? Remember, these are on Remind Me, and the United States Mint didn't sell a whole lot of these this year. In fact, the mintage and the stated product limit on this particular set for the proof set was 420,002, and they probably got maybe 300,000. Yeah, that's going to be one of the least minted proof sets in quite some time. And remember, we've been telling you for years now that it's going down and to the right. The population report or the mintages is just not what it used to be. This isn't your grandfather's proof set anymore, where they produced millions of them. It's a fraction of that nowadays. So it still begs the, and look at that. Did you just see that? So when I scrolled down, those little coins came up. Well, it looks like the United States Mint did something where you don't have to keep going, oh, click here, click there. Yeah, it just loads it automatically now. That's awesome. Automaticamente. That's what I'm saying. That's awesome. I just noticed that. And Mickey Minsky, our friend over at Ivers Gifts, actually told me that, but I keep forgetting to tell you until I just saw those 3 dancing coins. So anyway, let's keep on keeping on. Also, the American Women Quarters proof set. Yeah, San Francisco fractional silver rounds. Yeah, gonzo. And who's going to produce those in the future? And if it is going to move from San Francisco to Denver, does that mean we're going to have a whole lot more condition rarity coins? And remember, just last year, the United States Mint in Denver got like 3 or 4 new presses. That's right. They got shipped in, and we had done a video about that also. Look at the silver proof sets. Yeah, what's going on in San Francisco? Because we saw a bunch of toning damaged coin. I don't like toning. I really don't. I'm not a fan of toning. I'm a little old school like that. Toning, toned coins, can just ruin a coin's appearance. And only rarely does it actually produce something fantastical where it's like a bullseye or, some rainbow toning. And that's cool. But gosh, I think toning is just awful. In fact, the old school folks, they didn't want toning. And that's probably why they dipped their silver coins back in the day, right? They wanted to blast white. Yeah, that's right. And so only recently, in the last probably 10 years, maybe 8 years, people have been really big into toning. Yeah, it's kind of cool when you get a copper scent that's kind of pink, kind of blue, kind of purple. Yeah, but it's got to be like that. Otherwise, if it's other colors, it's like, yeah, not so much. Not a fan. Okay, but there it is. And these are yellowing. Okay, what is that all about? Does that mean there's sulfur in the air in San Francisco? Not sure what's going on there, but they are damaged. And it's kind of like the Libertads. You couldn't give those away before the pandemic. And nowadays, have you seen the 2025 Libertad prices? Absolutely incredible. We're talking like 13, 14, $15,000 if you were able to pick those up. So is that even real? Is that going to come down? Are people going to come back down to earth with those prices for the silver Libertad? I don't know, but it's definitely fun to watch. All right, American Innovation coin proof set. Yeah, okay, here we go. This is probably the most important piece of the whole picture here. Are the Morgan proofs out of San Francisco? What's going to happen if the United States Mint, because I don't think they're going to produce as many as they said they would. Do you remember the American Liberty silver medal? They said they were going to strike 60,000 of those. And then the last sales we looked at, even though it's on Remind Me, is at about 29,000. Yeah, half of what they said it would be. So let's say the Morgan silver dollar here. What do we got here? Let's actually go to the Morgan silver dollar here. They're saying there's 180,000, but what if they only struck 150, right? What does that mean? And remember, 175,000 was the original for the commemorative Morgan and Peace dollars, and back in 2021 that had the CC Privy mark and the O Privy mark and so on and so forth. Yeah, 150. That would probably be amazing for those proof coins. But what does it mean if it's from San Francisco and has a lower mintage? And same thing for the Peace dollar, right? What if they only do 130 or 140,000 of the Peace dollar instead of 170,000? And remember, it's struck out at San Francisco, California. If that's the end of the line, is it going to be treated like a CC? I don't know. I think that's a question that can only be answered in time. And well, time is short because check this out. If we go to the subscription here, we're going to find out very shortly. It says this coin shipped September 11, and I'm not sure why, because generally 2 weeks out, the mint changes this, and we will probably see a change in what's going on here. It ships in 10 days. Yeah, 10 days from now, this Peace dollar and the Morgan dollar are going to be up for sale. And like I said, I don't think the mintage limit's going to be 170,000. I don't think they produce that many. I think it's probably going to be 30, 40,000 less than that. And the household order limit is 10 here, but what's it going to be on drop day? So can't wait to find out what the next product in the subscription is, because we could see what we've seen earlier right here, like the American Innovation Coin Proof Set. Yeah, the program has ended for this particular coin set right there, and it's gonzo, right? And it is still available, I gotta say. And it's also, but look at these. These all have one thing in common right here. San Francisco Mint here, all right, American Innovation Coin Proof Set subscription, gonzo out of San Francisco. Right here, the American Eagle, did you see this? Yeah, only 110,000, and they're probably going to strike maybe 110,000 of these, because that's not a whole lot of household order limit of 10. But what's the value going to be? What's your prediction the value is on these, or the resale price on the secondary market? What's it going to be once we find out that the San Francisco Mint isn't going to be, well, I mean, and what is the trigger point? Is it going to be when we realize the Peace dollar and the Morgan silver dollars aren't going to be available at the San Francisco Mint next year? Or is it going to be when we hear it directly from the horse's mouth if the United States Mint says, you know what, gosh, we're just going to close it down? I mean, when are we going to find that out? Are we going to find out at the end of the fiscal year, which I think is the end of September, beginning of October? So we might have just one more month left. Oh, and speaking about the beginning of the month, we have about 3 days, and the United States Mint is going to announce the best of the mint coin and coin and metal once more, number 3 in the 5-coin set. That's going to be pretty amazing. So yeah, here we go. Let's keep on staying focused here on what San Francisco Mint for the American Silver Eagle. Yeah, mintages, demand, secondary market, closure of the San Francisco Mint. What's going to happen? Because I think the writing is on the wall, folks. I mean, even this limited edition silver proof set, I think they're probably going to make 10,000 less than this, maybe 16, 17,000 instead of 25,000. And what's that going to do for the price? Yeah, exactly. And not only that, though, seeing how this might be the last American Silver Eagle to come out of San Francisco, they have the 110,000 here for this one. And this is actually the same particular coin. You can see here, San Francisco proof there. But what's interesting is, I think this one here, if the United States Mint closes the San Francisco Mint, I think this one's going to be probably the one that shines the most out of the American Silver Eagles that come out this year. It's not going to be the laser beam privy market. It's not going to be the Army. It's not going to be the Marines, even though the Marine one is important because it comes out of Philadelphia. Well, Does that mean the American Silver Eagles are going to start coming out of Philadelphia now instead of San Francisco? Could the Marine Corps Privy Mark, the American Silver Eagle, be the start, right, of Philadelphia struck American Silver Eagles? Absolutely. Why not, right? Especially if the San Francisco Mint closes. Or could they change over to Denver? Not sure, but what I can tell you here is I don't think the Mint's going to make 100,000 of these bad boys. They're probably going to make 75, maybe 80,000. That's going to be a whole lot less than the Army Privy Mark one. And like I said earlier about the Marine Corps Privy Mark coming out of Philadelphia, the last time they struck a Philadelphia American Silver Eagle was back in 2000. They did it from 1993 to 2000. And this just might be the kickstart back kickstart to get the program back in action might be that Marine Corps Privy Mark. But this one here, I think it's going to be probably the most special coin out of all the American Silver Eagles this year. And that's that 250th anniversary United States Navy American Eagle. And that's the Privy Mark right there. That's really cool. Really dig that. Yeah, I think that's what I got to say today. And let me know what you think in the comments below. What happens when the San Francisco Mint closes? That's right. And what happens to all the San Francisco minted coins and metals? And what happens to the value on those particular coins and metals on the secondary market? Is the mint just giving away money? We'll see. Let's go to the +1 action right now. Bingo. This is fathers. When the father helps his son, both smile. When a son must help his father, both cry. That's a Yiddish proverb. Now let's bounce over here to 3 9's Fine 99.9 KOIN Coin News Radio. Whoa, whoa. This is Man in the Mirror, Michael Jackson. Yeah, going to make a change. That's him saying that. And I think we can all probably relate to that song because we all want to be better people. And the good Lord above gives us a chance each and every single new day to get it right. Because you know what? Each day you wake up, thank God that your soul returned to your body. Not only that, wash your hands. It's kind of spiritual. It's kind of physical. Yeah, making it a new day, and remember to forgive yourself for yesterday's transgressions and always seek forgiveness for those you have offended and well let's just say slighted. Let's just keep it at that. We'll keep it clean. All right, with that said, I hope you all have a great rest of your Labor Day weekend. It is the very first day of September 2025. Y'all make it a great day. Stacker out.